In this video, we will continue our discussion on conversion factors and get some more practice using them. Here's another example. We have a length of 12 inches and we want to convert it to centimeters. Remember that the conversion factor from the previous video is 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. I also told you in the previous video that you should always start with the amount that you are given in the problem, which is 12 inches. You are starting with 12 inches. You want to end in centimeters. This unit here that you are given, you want to cancel and you want to end up with centimeters. Therefore, you need to pick the conversion factor, the fraction, that will have centimeters at the top and inches at the bottom. So I start with 12 inches, multiply it by my conversion factor, which is a fraction that has 2.54 centimeters at the top and then the 1 inch in the bottom. My inches are going to cancel, leaving me with a unit of centimeters at the top, which is what I would like. If you do this calculation, it will give you more than these two digits, but remember that this is a conversion factor, and therefore these numbers do not factor into figuring out the significant digits of my final answer. Only the measurement in this case. My measurement has 4 significant digits. Remember, these are trailing zeros, but they're significant because there is a decimal point right there. There are 4 significant digits, and my answer, therefore, should have 4 significant digits because I am multiplying. Multiplication and division looks to the total number of significant digits. You choose the form of the conversion factor. They cancel inches in this case, so inches at the bottom cancels inches at the top. Then we are left with units of centimeters. Here are some conversion factors for the metric system. So here's the mega. I have kind of, your book has a lot more in it, but I have simplified it a little bit for those units, metric units that we're going to be using the most. So if you have the mega metric multiplier, which means 1 to the times 10 to the 6th. If you're converting from, let's say, a unit, this is my base unit. It could be hertz, it could be seconds, it could be meters, it could be liters, but in this case, it's hertz. So from hertz to megahertz, then you would use this conversion factor. So you would have 1 megahertz at the top and 1 times 10 to the 6th hertz at the bottom. Or if you're converting from megahertz to hertz or megaseconds to seconds, you would use the opposite of that. So this table, there are 2 tables. I kind of split them to blow them up a little bit so you can see them better. These tables will help you to figure out which conversion unit you need to use, depending on where you're starting and where you're going. Note that do not get hung up on, well, in the table it says liters and I'm converting to deciliters, or it says meters to kilometers. I could have liters to kiloliters or grams to kilograms, whatever. So I could have any base unit here. The important part is the prefix, so the deci, the kilo, the mega, etc. So I could have any base unit here converting to so liters to deciliters, or seconds to deciseconds, or meters to decimeters, etc., etc. Here's the other part of that table. So we have centi, milli, and micro for these, and they follow the same format. So if I'm converting, here's my base unit, and plug in whatever base unit you have, and I'm converting to the centimeter, then I would use this form of my conversion factor. Or if I'm going from centimeters to meters, then I'm using this form. I would once again print these out and have them handy, at least until you get the hang of some of these problems. So you don't just kind of stare at the page trying to figure out where to start, you have a table that sort of walks you through. If you're starting here and going there, this is the form, the conversion form that you need to use, and vice versa. Here's a sample problem for you to try. So convert 4.5 times 10 to the 5th meters to kilometers by using the conversion factor forms shown in the multiplier table. Start with the amounts that you are given. So you are given 4.5 times 10 to the 5th meters. So start there, write that first. Then you multiply that with the right conversion factor from meter to kilometers. If I'm going back here, here's my kilometer. I am from meters. I'm going from meters to kilometers. So I am going to have to use this conversion factor. So you would have 4.5 times 10 to, I think it was the 6th meters, multiplied by this conversion factor to give you meters will cancel to leave you with kilometers, which is what you need to convert to. Figure out what is the right conversion factor from milligrams to grams, microliters to liters. Once again, in the table, you might have a different base unit, but stick with, so go find what the micro is, go find what the milli is, and what the kilometer is. So that heading at the table, and then use the appropriate conversion factor. Let's look at English to metric conversions. We have kilograms and pounds going to, so kilograms, 1 kilogram has 2.20462 pounds, or 1 pound is equal to 0.453592 kilograms. If you're going from grams, and so converting between grams and pounds, grams and ounces, kilometers and miles, etc., etc., you would be using these conversion factors. Once again, you would set these up just like the metric units as a fraction with the unit that you want to end up on top and the unit that you're starting out with in the problem. So if you start out with grams, the grams will be at the bottom, so the 1 gram at the bottom, the pounds at the top, etc., etc., depending on where you start. So these are set up exactly the same way as the metric table that you saw. You might want to do that for yourself. So write out, try to fill out the table for the English to metric conversion, just like the previous table. And then if you want me to look over to see if you've got the correct, if you've set them up correctly, then I can certainly do that for you. And then practice a few of these to make sure that you are getting them correctly. Here's a sample problem. So convert these quantities to the metric. So each, you're going from the English to the metric quantity. So 1.525 pounds to kilograms. Going back to this slide, so you have pounds and kilograms. You will be in this heading here. You are starting with pounds. You're wanting kilograms. You can use either or, but make sure that since you're starting in pounds, the pound will be at the bottom. So 1.25 pounds times 0.453592 kilograms over 1 pound, or 2.20462 pounds over 1 kilogram, etc., etc. So either way works. Just make sure you have the correct number at the unit at the bottom that will cancel the unit that you start out with. So I will give you a little bit of time to work on these. It's okay if you don't get them the first time around. You have unlimited tries to figure these out. Just work on these and really get some practice. And we will be doing more of these at in class as well.